Okay, just a quick video. So I traced the center on here first, and then I spread the plaster, so I clipped it here, and I filled in about a 4-inch area. So I just filled it in, smoothed it out like this with the knife, and then I came back in and I started pulling with the knife towards, you pull each time you pull towards the center of your flower, and you just start filling in your petals like this. And then at the end of that, I took this to add a little definition to the outline of it. I just kind of pulled it like that to give it a little better shape. Once the plaster's smoothed out, you're going to get your hexagon shape. And instead of putting it right level with the edge, I like to position it a little bit more where maybe this little point is pointing to the center. One of the points is pointing to the center of the sunflower. Just make it a little less, what's the word? Anyway, a little more diagonal shape. Okay, so you're going to trace the first one, pull it up, and then you place the next one. You give yourself about a 1/4 inch in between them. Wipe off your pencil, and you just keep tracing. Alright, so you can see that I didn't worry about some of the edges. I just filled in just where it's comfortable to fill it in. It doesn't have to be everywhere. And then some of these are a little bit, okay, so you just take your finger and smooth out anything that's sticking up. Just kind of tap it. So, okay, so after you do that, then you're going to take this edge and you're going to pull out the extra plaster. You do that on all of them. You wipe it as you go, so after you pull it a little, you wipe it. Alright, so this is still going to be wet, and that's okay. You're just going to paint gently. So I want you to dip your water in, dip your brush in your water, so you're kind of thinning your color out a little bit, and you just stay on the surface and brush very gently, so that you're not changing the shape of your petals. So I'm just going to do a little spot here, and then I want to show you, you can touch into your orange a little bit as you go, or you can add the orange a little bit later, whatever is easier for you to do. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to touch your amber watercolor, and I want you to do variations. So in some areas it can be stronger, so right now I'm putting it on full strength, and now I'm going to dip in some water and pull it the rest of the way so that it's not real dark everywhere. So some of them you can add more water to make it a thinner color, so that way it looks a little more natural. There's more variations in the color. You see how nice that looks, where it's darker here and lighter over here. Next, I'm going to the watercolor green, and I'm going to make just some green. I'm not trying to get it to look like leaves. I'm just adding some green into the background. You can add add a little water as you go. You can darken this later if you feel like it. When it dries, it gets quite a bit lighter. And I think some of the hexagon shapes look nice with a little green. Also, just kind of move that around a little. Alright, so I just moved the watercolor around a little, and later you can add more. And next I'm going to do some of the watercolor brown, and I'm coming into the center of the sunflower, and I'm just going to make some, just kind of pull this direction to make it look like sunflower seeds. And it's a little dark starting out, so just kind of, you can pull it a little harder, make some of that white mix in to kind of lighten it so it's not quite so dark. Okay, I'm going to go back in with the off-white, and I'm going to paint in between. And then I'm also going to touch the ends of the flowers to kind of make it look maybe where the sun is touching. A little bit lighter just on the tips. Okay, so next I put this little bee right there, and I gently outlined it, not pressing too hard. You don't need to engrave it necessarily, just kind of gently. And then I came back in and I drew the head. Then you can draw the body down like that, and then on the wings you find the point right here and you connect it like a honey drop down like that. That and that, and then you're going to put your stripes in there. Okay, so in order to paint the honeybee, I would start with the yellow. We'll do every other. The black is the first one. So I've only got 2 stripes of yellow on this. Wash your brush, and then you do the black. Oh, I wanted to point out that you make a point on your brush first. So you tip your brush like this so that you can find that nice tip on there. And when you dip in your paint, you just do a really small amount of paint on the tip of your brush. And that way you can do a nice detailed line without, even though it's a large brush, it does a very nice detailed line. Next, you're going to paint your wings white, and then after that dries, you come over it with the iridescent. Okay, after I painted, I'm going to take and draw the little antenna with my pencil, and then I made a cute little trail, kind of do a little loop-to-loop trail. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. Let me get you a little farther over. So yeah, I'm just making a cute little line, maybe make it come off the page, just making dots or little slashes. Okay, so this step is optional. This is just tissue paper that you would use. You can get it at the dollar store. You could use it for wrapping or for inside of a package. So you just trace your hexagon shape, and then whatever words. So I have written, the things which you learned and saw in me, these do. The God of peace will be with you. It's Philippians 4:9. So whatever you want to write, you could write be sweet or be happy or whatever. I just like to use my handwriting, so I like that it goes on really soft this way, and then you just take and you cut that out. So cut it out the shape of the hexagon. So I'm going to add my words in, so you just take some glue, you pick where you want your words to be, and in mine I did the first part of the scripture here, and then I finished it, the second part here, so you can do it that way. So I just took my blue, I filled in the hexagon shape, and then I dropped whichever, make sure you find the top of the picture, and then yeah, just put your little design on there. You can add a little glue on top of that to make sure that it's on all the way. And that's a cool way to add words to any picture. Alright, so there's that. Now on the bumblebee, you can add a little glue, or you can do a second coat of black. Now you want to make sure that the wings and everything around it is dry before you do this, because when you shake it off, you don't want these little sprinkles to stick everywhere. So you just put your little black sprinkles on there. Just like glitter, like if you're using glitter, and then you blow them off. Okay, there was one step that I forgot. I want you to touch a little bit of your gold, like your metallic gold color that is on your palette, and then just brush it off of your, kind of take your brush and dry it off so that there's not so much color on the surface. And then I call this dry brushing. You just kind of skim the surface of your little honeycombs. Now, if this is too textury or it's too much color, just dip your finger in your water and rotate to soften it out with your finger. You can just soften it out a little bit. And you can put that gold wherever you feel. I like using it around the edges a little bit. And then I also like to use it, you can just kind of dry brush a little bit of the gold up into the center of your sunflower. That's just something you can do according to what you like, and yeah, you can really see it from an angle. When you, after it dries, you kind of look at it at an angle and it shows up really shiny. It's pretty. So it probably would work too to add some water and just kind of wash it on a little bit here and there, if it'll still show up with that metallic look. So this is really up to you how much gold you add in there. It's all according to what you like and how you want it to look. Somewhere. Okay. So yeah. See, my paint was still a little wet right there in the middle, and so that's why it's sticking in that spot. For the very last step, I'm going to add a little bit of off-white to the center here, just to kind of bounce it around. Make sure you don't overlap your gold. You want your gold to show. Just kind of touching that over that plaster a little with some off-white. And then this is still pretty wet, from working with the watercolors. So I'm just going to take some of that black and sprinkle it right around that edge. If it's not still wet, then you can add a little touch of glue first. You can put as much of that in there as you like. And I think that's it.